Was there something else that perhaps we do not know that the police were supposed to do as a result of that initiative?
Yes, currently, you will believe with me that police in Rivers State are not lacking in anything when it comes to crime fighting. They are always everywhere, always quick response. I believe, and I also could remember that one of those who were involved in killing suspects who were involved in killing Boko when he was arrested. They were about to lynch and they called the police. Police responded because those boys or those who caught the guy didn't want to take laws into their hand. They are always everywhere. I'm not talking for the police because we as civilians, we have our own part, our own role to play. And what is our own role? Whatever you see, you report to the police. And that was why, even within this period, there are boxes for complaint. Whatever you have, if you have any information, because police cannot work without information. And that is what they demand from the people. Give them reasonable information and they will follow up.
Do you think that this initiative was well implemented and was it successful?
Well,
the expected end of the initiative, was it accomplished? And is the initiative still on?
The initiative is on. We are not to implement because we can't carry arms. Those to implement are the police. We only help to see that this information gets to the grassroots. This information also help the police to curb crime in the state.
So at the moment, we still have the Rivers Zero Crime Initiative on. The campaign is still on.
The campaign is on.
At what level is it on? Is it the level of going about sensitizing people to more, or the police, coming out to the streets, or what exactly? And how does that work? Because for many people, the confusion now is that we have these crimes committed on the roads, and if there's something of this nature, the idea for many people would be we're supposed to see more police activities in the streets of Port Harcourt. If we're having something of this nature where you're saying you want to achieve zero crime, we're supposed to see more police presence in different parts of the city and parts of the state. We're supposed to see an increased activity of police officers. There was a time where we had more checkpoints on the roads, and for some people it felt like they felt safer having that. But to think that we have this initiative, but then the activities doesn't seem to be corresponding with what the tag of the initiative is. What would you say to people who feel that way?
Andrew, you will agree with me that there's no way police will be everywhere at the same time.
Yes, they can't be everywhere, but then we can feel their presence.
Yes. And are you not feeling their presence?
Well,
at least
would allow Rivers people decide
yes,
that. But if you are to judge by the recent incidences that we've been having, many people will say they are well within their right to think that they are not feeling the presence of the police.
No, I don't think so, because for me, I know even from before you move from here to Rumokoro, you must have seen one police checkpoint.
So why does crime happen between here and Rumokoro on the road, and then we do not know who perpetrated the crime or get to apprehend the person who's perpetrating the crime? That
is why we say when you see, you shout, because we have a new sheriff. But you will not. The new sheriff we are talking about is our management, the police itself. The police cannot, just I told you here that the police cannot be everywhere. We have to give information to the police. If anything happens along the road, you can't. It is not guaranteed that you must see any policeman between here and there, but certainly there must be a police. If you are driving from Uniport to Rumokoro, there must be a checkpoint where you meet a policeman or police vehicle. It is left for us to run down or give information to the control room. I think that day we gave out control room of the areas to call and they will respond. And I don't think within this period anybody had called and there was no response.
No,
I don't think.
I'm sure we'll get a response to this when we open the phone lines. But now, as a member of that committee and the conversations that you have with police and the commissioner, what suggestions from your part on your part as a civilian has been made to the police that makes you feel this is something the police should do or should be doing if they are to gain the trust of the average civilian or to make the streets of Port Harcourt safer? Was that something that was discussed? Is that something that was thought about during the meetings in the course of this initiative?
Yes, during the inaugural day, we had panel. People came and people make suggestions. Apart from suggestions, some persons also came up with experiences they had, ugly, good, about police. And police commissioner and other management of police were there. And they are sure that some of these mistakes they have made, it will be corrected or it will be looked into.
Can you say from that time where you had that conversation that the initiative has been on till now, would you look at it and say some of the suggestions we made to the police, I can see that it's been implemented?
Of course, like the quick response.
Have you had a personal case or people say that there's...
People, some persons have.
Okay, Rivers people, you'd have to verify this because we're going to open the lines and we'll let them verify that for us. When we do, whether that's one quick response, it says it was a suggestion and there's been an improvement on that area. I've not had a need to call the police so I cannot tell.
Yeah, I cannot tell.
I sure know that, well, there are checkpoints on the roads early in the mornings. You have checkpoints in specific areas. I think that's the most I know. I used to know that we used to have patrols. Police vans would just patrol into streets. Your areas, you just see patrol and you would hear them and just move around. I can't remember the last time I heard that or saw that happen. It's largely had been police officers on major roads. That's it, not the streets. Yes, you don't have... I can't remember the last time. I know that back in the days that used to happen. What other suggestions were made? Let me allow. Maybe you would tell me this one was made too. I don't know. So, what other suggestions was made to the police in the course of this zero crime initiative in a bid to tackle?
Just like I said, police is a friend. See something, say something, and that will help us. When you see something going wrong in your area, report. Give police information. That will help.
Is there an explanation you can give as to why we're seeing the cases of crime that we are seeing at the moment, despite these efforts by the police?
You see, there's no way in any society, in any place, crime will be totally eradicated. There are people who are born with crime. Yes. In fact, they want to commit crime at all time.
All right, Mr. Wigodo, just hold that thought. We'll continue on this line. I find this one very interesting. When we come back, we have a commercial coming up. As soon as we return from it, you'll continue with this. So please just hold on to it and don't forget it.
Let me not forget.
Please don't forget it. Meanwhile, take advantage of our lines. You can send in a WhatsApp message using the number 0809 0306416. Despite efforts of the police at the moment, how safe do you feel going about your daily activities? Let us know what you think about the activities of the police so far and your safety. We'll be back after this commercial.
That
people that are born to just commit crime. I don't think anybody is born to commit crime, but then I understand where you're coming from. So tell us about that. If you are aware of this, it was why I asked you, does this initiative also carry the stick approach for people like this that would, no matter what you say to them, would commit crime?
Well, you see, if you commit crime, he will go for it. The law will take its course. And yes, I said some persons or some people were born with crime, because I don't imagine how a police officer will be sent to your community and you will plan to kill that police officer. It's madness. These officers also have families, and they are there to serve you, to help you, to secure you, and you turn around to kill them. I mean, those people, are they reasonable? Are they normal? These are issues that, we have to talk about. Because even when they were talking about how stop crime, stop criminality, don't do this, don't do that, and you went ahead to plan to kill or even kill a DPO. A DPO that was sent to secure you, to help you clean to ensure that your community lives good. I mean, we should think about that.
In the course of this campaign, what responses, what was the reception like? How did people react? When you went on this campaign,
yes,
how did people react?
A lot of people reacted negatively.
Why? What did they say?
Negatively in the way that the way police behave to them. And I will say, this is why we are here, to tell you that police has changed. Police is still your friend. If you witness or encounter any difficulty with any police officer, we have a complaint boxes everywhere, even hotels, or even most of these police stations. You go there, make the complaint. CP himself is the one who has the key to this, because he sends people, get me, open these boxes, bring the letters, and he attend to them personally. So if you have any if I have any complaint against any police officer, against anything, please report to the police. We'll have a complaint boxes almost around the state.
Let's open the phone lines. We'll come back with some more questions, but let's hear what the listener has to say. 0809-030-6416 is the WhatsApp number. The numbers to call are 0817-923-0007, 0817-923-0007. You can also call 0817-923-0003. So I would start with some messages on Facebook. New Face Ilemona says it's quite alarming, referring to insecurity. Mustafa Akalikoko says people need to be very vigilant these days because the level of insecurity in the state is quite alarming. Bene Alewa Sunday says definitely insecurity in Rivers State is becoming something else. We're not safe at all. Good morning. The primary man says insecurity in parts of the state is serious. I pray and hope that God helps us because the police and the government are confused at this point as to what to do. Plus, there's serious hardship. Boy Can Care Udoaka says, what do you expect in the state that we have more churches than factories? Let's see. We'll take one of the many. I don't know how I can't take all of these ones now. I can't take all of those ones now. Well, we'll take some more on WhatsApp as we await your calls. All right. Let's start with Susie Nerema now. Susie, you're welcome. Good morning.
Yeah, Andrew. Good morning. Yeah, let me also greet your guests in the studio.
Okay, go ahead.
Andrew, every insecurity, criminality, or whatever is supposed to mean that it's always local. That means that the locals will even understand what it is. And mixing up the attitude of disposition of the police over time with reason will be very, very unfair to the fact that we need to sanitize the society. Andrew, I do not want to announce it, but I coordinate for an NGO. But to this extent, I believe that when the Commissioner of Police came up with this zero crime, he was clear in the concept. What was the clarity? That this particular initiative is to draft every stakeholder in the community, in the society, into this initiative. Now, what that for me as thought is that without you being a policeman, that in your own environment, because you want to live a good life, you want peace, you want business to thrive, you want social life to grow, you must have to understand that you have a responsibility to attend to this issue of anomaly and incessant cultism and all of that within our environment. And I do not need to be a policeman or army man to think that in a Rema community, there should be peace, there should be an understanding. So if the police are doing their own part, it's a dual perspective and the responsibility and cost of both police and us. We cannot carry on to be shooting people in our community to stop crime. But we can also initiate principles and ideas to make sure that people live out of doing what is wrong in the community.
Let's go to Umbaraja. Tawu. Oh, we lost the call from Tawu. Tawu, could you want to call us back, please? Braid is on the line. Good morning, Braid.
Good morning, Efemi Andrew.
Yeah, good morning.
Yeah, my take this morning.
Hello, Braid. Braid, can you hear me? All right, I'll just give out the numbers again. 0817-923-0007. 0817-923-0007. You can also call us up on 0817-923-0003. Despite efforts by the police in Rivers State, how safe do you feel going about your daily activities? You've heard my guests here with the Zero Crime Initiative of the police and the recent campaigns that was launched. They had to just, I think, a week ago or 2 weeks ago, if I'm not mistaken. They visited some of the different parts of the state, the Diob axis, the Waterside, or the Marine Base axis, and all of those areas. Were some of the places that were visited. And the questions people are asking is how effective that is in tackling crime, or was that what the initiative basically is only about? You heard my guests and his assertions on those. Some of the messages here said, good morning. Until the police start making their findings public by naming sponsors of these boys that are that are perpetrating the crime, will be beating around the bush. Ifeanyi Chukwuwodo. This one says the police officers with a white minibus around Road 15 in New Road that usually come there by 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. collecting money from young boys with cars. Are they part of the Zero Crime Committee? So it brings us. I remember we were having a conversation before we came in the studio, and I was telling you that how aggressive is this campaign? We'll get to that. Let's hear OK in Diob. OK, good morning.
Good morning, Efemi.
Yeah, welcome. OK, go ahead.
Okay. My question this morning is police collecting money along the road or within the checkpoint. Is it a crime? Because they have to go and complain, write a letter from the submit. Are they not stealing along the express road or collecting money boldly, not afraid of anything with gun? So that one is not a crime enough to persecute the police. That's my question. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much. First off, it's a crime. I think I'll just answer it directly. We don't need to. No police officer is supposed to collect any money from you on the road. Passenger or driver. No.
Yes, it reports.
No police officer. Stanley from Eligbo. Good morning.
Okay. Good morning. Okay. Good morning to your guest.
Good morning.
Okay. Last week, at D-Line, inside D-Line, my mechanic was killed where he went to test a vehicle. And a colleague also told me, see, I should avoid D-Line because of the rate. He lives at D-Line. The rate at which they take cars at D-Line is alarming. Now, all these cars, they have tracker. And people are saying they are using demobilizer. I don't know how true is that. I just want to find out from your guest. If you can explain to us, cars that have tracker, is there anything they can use to stop the tracker or what else? So we know that we are safe because we can't go out at night again. Even when someone is sick in the house, take the person out for medical checkup or to clinic. You can't do it again because of the insecurity. Please, Rivers need to be safe.
All right, Stanley, thank you. Another concern. Somebody also sent a message here. This one says, "Good morning. Just yesterday morning, a man was stabbed to death at Eliozu flyover on his way to church. And police took picture of the dead man to churches around Eliozu to see if he will be identified as a member. Port Harcourt is no longer safe. The police need to step up their game." Sandy sent this in. Well, Sandy, we've not gotten a report of this from the police, so I wouldn't know or confirm that this is what the police officers did. And I think it's also part of where the sensitization comes in. Now, if you witnessed that or saw that, you would need to report to the nearest police station.
Of course.
This is supposed to be one of the areas where I guess was talking about the Zero Crime Initiative and something that we civilians need to learn to do. But then there's the concern as to when you now go to report the police station. Let me give you an example of the person that was killed in Diop, and the woman was in the vehicle, and the woman was arrested for the person that was shot. And same thing happened. Somebody else was killed. I think it was a relative to someone, I don't know who, but a former government official or thereabout, I don't know. And he had somebody with him in the vehicle when he was killed, but that person was not arrested. So somebody sent me a message in the studio and said, in the case of that woman that was in the car when the mechanic that was taking her to drop her off died, they arrested the woman. The woman had to even get a human rights lawyer to come and speak. So what about this other person's own? Why did they not arrest the person that was with them in the car? So it became like people now questioning the so it brings me to ask, and now you see the person who has said, the car tracker thing. Sometimes you go to the police and you feel like with this you should be able to track or figure out what has happened, and then they might even ask you to pay money first. We have to pay money before we can trace. I have never seen, I know the police wing has helicopters. For the police, there's a police wing in the military for helicopters for crime.
Yes,
I have never seen in this Port Harcourt any time that we said there's a crime and then we saw a helicopter. Oh, somebody snatched a car. You got the information and then, okay, helicopters, like that's the fastest way you would. I have never seen it flown for that purpose. I don't know if it has. Me, I have not seen. Whether it's operational, I don't know. In this committee and all the meetings that you have, we have plenty of callers. But just to look to this talk, because you're going to respond to this. Were these things raised? Because you look at what happens in foreign countries and how their police operate, and you begin to ask, if we have these gadgets and tools, why are we not using them? Let's go to Smith in Ada George. Smith, good morning.
Yes, good morning. Ifemi, how are you doing this morning?
Very fine, thank you. Go ahead.
Yes, as regards to a question, a particular caller asked, talking about tracker with mobilizer and demobilizer. Because what is happening is actually something that is of concern to most of us, and if not all Rivers people. But I want to say that when you want to do a vehicle tracking, you should try to communicate a professional, a corporate body, because we have mobilizer. It exists. There are some devices that if a car is snatched and they have that demobilizer, the tracker will not work as long as that device is in the car. It exists, even as expensive as it is, but then people go and learn to get it just to perpetrate crime. That is why we are saying that when you want to do security, such as car tracking, you should know the device that is installed in your car. You don't just begin to, sorry to say, you can't just drive your car to any mechanic or maybe any side where, I don't want to call the names of these places where these things exist. You just drive to a particular place. Imagine driving your car to my one and say, who they do trackers, come and do for me. It is not done.
So are there trackers? Are there trackers
comprehensive thing? You go to companies that are well known, registered, and they do a tracker for you with a good device that demobilizer cannot demobilize.
All right.
Trackers
that was what I wanted us to get.
Of devices.
Thank you very much, Smith.
Why they tell you the devices. But I can say that if you're doing a tracker that is less than 30,000 naira, you are at risk.
All right, Smith, thank you. Benga is in GRA. Benga, good morning.
Good morning, my brother, man.
You're welcome.
What I want to say about this issue is that I want to beg Commissioner of Police, make no rely that because this is when they kill the DPO, they don't go back again. Because I remember very well during NSAS, after the NSAS, all the police they feared to come out. Like 8 months ago now, I see them, they come out again, but they don't get confidence. Please, don't go back. Come out in full mass, please, to save Port Harcourt for all your power you can use. Now there's a one chance in the road now. For night now, every time for about one chance. And let police not go back and sleep. Please, come out. That's why you are there. That's why they put you there.
All right.
You are our first choice as a civilian before army. So I want to beg Commissioner of Police. Let your boys come out, especially for night. All the corner, both Element Junction, both every, just come out to safe river.
All right, Benga, thank you very much. Temple is in a chair. Temple, good morning.
Once again, morning, this very distinguished Ifemi.
Yes, go ahead.
The very distinguished Ifemi. My friend's car was stolen, and they found out that the tracker was, dismantled. That tells you that these guys doing this thing have professionals with them, because it's all about having a professional technician. And you find that some of these guys that are diverting into this crime are also, have learned one trade or the other, and some of them are even graduates. So what am I saying? Police need to step up to their game. We cannot be, looking for the black gold in the night. It is not possible. You can't find a black gold in the night. Go to this Abali police station in my one. 2 police checkpoints in front of the police stations between the hour of 7, 8, 9, 10. The same thing applicable to LL1 police station. The same thing applicable to Igrita police station. The same thing applicable to...
Hello, Temple. Hello, Temple. Okay, I think we got the point you were trying to make, though, even if you got interrupted midway. All right, another message says, good morning, Andrew. For policing to be done effectively, the government of the day must install cameras in strategic positions, as your guest has established that police cannot be everywhere. Ubong sent that message in. So I was asking you a question about, I've never seen the police helicopter anywhere, amongst many other. So in the meetings for this initiative, were these questions asked? And if they were, what responses were given?
Well, I think we didn't bring that to the notice of the management of police.
Did they say that they were underfunded or not well equipped?
But even if they didn't say, we all know that the police are underfunded. We know actually that because even when you get to any of the police stations, you will know that they are not properly funded. And
but have they said that they are not properly funded?
Because when you see a policeman buying uniform for himself, what do you expect? So let's not talk about that, because I'm not a police officer. I'm not in the government that authorize that. But let's say that, how far have we fared all this while? When you initiate a program, there are some persons out there making sure that this program didn't get the light of the day. And I think that is what these criminals are trying to do, to rubbish what the Commissioner of Police is trying to build.
How much support is the Commissioner getting from the state government, especially with regards to this particular initiative?
Well participated. I wouldn't know how support, because what we did is to also did our own part. The police also did their own part, and our own part is to sensitize the people, make sure that those who are afraid of police no longer afraid of police.
So do you believe
letting them know that police is their friend. friend.
So do you think that from what you have done now, people no longer are worried about or concerned? Do you think people now believe that the police is their friend?
Of course,
based on what you have done now.
To an extent.
You were telling me that your experiences when you went, there's many people were saying because of how the police behave.
Yes.
You think that has changed now in the course of the 1 week that you had that campaign?
It may not have changed totally, but at least to an extent. If you look before now, even when we had the medical outreach, we had about 102 surgery. People, civilians, came out to test themselves, to have
surgeries. You had surgeries.
Yes, surgeries of 105. Some of them, this illness have been with them for the past 4 years. So it is part of activity to bring these people closer to the police.
But would you say that, as fantastic as this is, would you not agree with people who believe that the best way to get Nigerians to believe in the police is for the police to respect and the rights of masses, even when they are carrying out their duties?
And this is why we said if police does not respect their right, make complaints. Complain to the Commissioner of Police. He is the head of the security, apart from the governor. When it comes to the police, he is in charge of security in the state.
Well, you heard that. Complain to the Commissioner of Police. And since you said the police have been making good with their words of swift response, perhaps the Commissioner will be swift when he sees the complaint.
Of course. He reads all the complaints. He, in fact, personally, he treats
Have
them.
you been in his office with him to see him read all the complaints?
This is what he has said, and I will believe them.
Better. This is what he has said. It's better. Let's go to Bori now. Akanto, good morning.
Good morning, my friend, and how are you doing this morning?
Good morning to you, Akanto. Go ahead.
Good morning, our guest. Yes.
Good morning.
Our guest, we have talked about so much listening to it. I think I came into my room to listen to it a few minutes ago. And for us, the responsibility as a good citizen, how we must protect ourselves security-wise. And there was something that happened to me, apart from car theft or other thefts that is going on in Nigeria. The Rivers is no exception. I took my phone to somewhere in Bori. I want to restore one app in my phone. That was Thursday last week. Do you know what I did? Ignorant to me, I gave the phone to one guy that is a cyber wizard. Instead of him to restore that app I'm talking about, you know what the guy was trying to do? He asked me what network am I using, and I told him MTN. There was a dumb man that was very close. The guy was eyeing me. The guy cannot speak. The guy was eyeing me. That's a gesture communication. You know, he was trying to use the eye to communicate to me. And why am I giving this phone to this particular guy? The guy was going to roll around my details on that phone and try to, and I connected my phone from the guy. Because the man that did not talk was giving me that level of communication that I took my phone from him. You know what the guy was trying to do? Is to get access to my details so that the man can get into my bank or all those things. What am I trying to do is that the Commissioner of Police is that they are not the type of person that is submitting if you are not doing well. He is doing well. Just go to him, and if he gets difficulty why, go to, we have a, what they call it, a contact point where we can get information direct. The call portal, we will get to him. If we have a difficulty in security situation, we can report to Commissioner. Like we can in April, sorry. A political police officer tried to do a fishy something. I reported immediately to the Nigeria Info. You were on top of my Andrew, and one of the radio stations. Do you know that the Commissioner of Police quickly act to that particular this record on that particular police officer? So for us, we must be conscious.
Right, thank you very much, but we have to pause you there. We have a commercial coming to attempt to wrap things up. And another thing that many would even want to ask is, I would like you to respond to this when we return before we wrap up, would be, you have rightly said the police cannot be everywhere. So if the police cannot be everywhere, how best can we protect our society? How best can we secure our society? What would be the best approach to do this and ensure the safety of everyone? knowing fully well that the police is not God, and they are also human beings who reside in this society. We'll get your response as we wrap up after the break.
You too can win awesome prizes in the Indomie Scratch and Win promo. Submit 1070-gram Indomie wrappers to the nearest redemption center near you, and you could be the winner of 20,000 naira cash, home theater, microwave, 43-inch TV, and more.
Fire, Wigodo. We have the news at 9 in just a matter of moments. So your response, how best can we then secure the environment, knowing that the police cannot be everywhere?
Just like what I say, help the police to work. And our mantra, see something, say something. How would you do? Report any suspecting move in your area to the police. Police will take action.
Well said. And you also said you can get in touch with the commissioner. Do you have those numbers?
No, I don't have them.
But then you can use the complaint box at
yes.
the state CID?
Yeah, always in most of the presidential Swiss hotels, most of all these hotels, and divisional police headquarters. All
right. You can take advantage of those platforms and filing your complaints or whatever you noticed or saw. And even if you had a police officer who acted in a certain unprofessional way. Thank you again, Mr. Ike, for your time.
Thank you very much.
My name is Ifeami Andrew. The news at 9 is next. Afterwards, Jude comes in with Hello Port Harcourt, and you don't want to miss it. Stay tuned.